Hello YouTube, Mr. Evans here with my vlog number 114, I believe? I swear I just checked it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's vlog 114. Today is Monday and the time is 6:53, and I will tell you straight up, me being here this late makes no sense. None at all. So let's break down what happened after school, right after I check in about the day. Today was a very good day. And yet I somehow ended feeling stressed. I think because it raised a lot of questions. So let me explain that testing has started. State testing has started. And the thing that I'm realizing is I'm much more on my toes with state testing now after having done it a few times. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry if you hear that hum in the background. That's my fan. On long testing weeks, I like to make the conditions for the students as amenable as possible, since it's hard enough already, and so I decided I'm going to leave that fan on in the window for as long as possible so that it's nice and cool for them tomorrow when they arrive. Anyway, back to it. There's a lot to do with state testing that you wouldn't really think about. Things like knowing to read the directions, knowing, being kind of fluid and being able to turn to the correct page, being able to assign seats, knowing how to administer, all of this stuff. And I realized that it actually came naturally to me to a point where it was almost problematic. Like, it just was like, there were points where I was like, I know I need to do this next, but I don't have the resource provided to me yet, so I will wait, it just, I don't know, it's weird, hard to really explain, but overall, really, really great. Plus, because there's less to do actively for me, lot to do passively, but actively there's a lot less to do. It's mostly just let the students work. But of course I gotta monitor them and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I still was able to be kind of passive and get some work done that I needed to complete, which was great. I've graded the homework and just a lot of stuff that I had kind of been putting off, and usually I continue to put off until Wednesday, but it's done, which is fantastic. So all in all, very low pressure day, felt really good. I think the stress comes from me wondering if it's gonna stay that way, because sometimes proctoring can be very high stakes, because one tiny distraction is huge and has the potential to set off a chain reaction. So really fought against that, made some calls home, which I don't like making, but I had to do it anyways. Yeah, just, I don't know, I had to do it. Because during state testing, it's like, look, I'm gonna make the environment as amenable to you as possible, but if you step 1 foot outside the line, there will be consequences. That's how seriously I take it. Didn't mean to get so strict and dark there. I try to keep those phone calls pretty positive and just say this is a really important week, and I know that your student can be successful if they just apply a little bit more effort. So, anyways, this is getting way off track. The point is, after the day was over, here's the way things shook down. We ended at about 2:40. Then we had our faculty meeting, 2:55, which really was more like 3. That went until, that's supposed to go until 4 o'clock, went a little later, so I didn't actually get out of there until about 4:30. Then what did I do? I had to pick up some packages from the office. My letters. Can you see the letters up there? Say read. The lights have been on the fritz for a while, so I ordered some new lights, I put those in. Also, I had ordered some books and other stuff for Anime Club, which you'll find out about next week. So that took a while to put all that together, because you actually have to thread the lights into the, the thing, into the letter. And then I realized I needed new batteries, so I had to go across the street and get those, come in and replace them, at which point I remembered that I had counted the money that I needed to turn into a different teacher for our fundraiser, so I went and turned that in, got the new candies to sell, since that's the way we're doing it, and I had to also hang posters, or not posters, but flyers for Anime Club, because, I got them all printed and ready to go, since there's less planning this week, want to make sure to get the word out there early. And by the time all of that's done, it's now nearly 7 o'clock. That's what happens. But it's okay. Just wanted to let you know that that's how things tend to go. It's not really big things where I'm spending a lot of time doing one thing. It's just a ton of little things that you absolutely cannot miss, because the little stuff really counts in teaching. I think I said that a little bit more sincerely than I needed to. Let me just get to the wonder quote of the day, because I do like this one. It's pretty common, but it's also pretty true. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. That's Margaret Mead. Not sure where that's from. Have heard it quite a lot, though. So how do I apply that quote to myself? In a way, I would say that that's like teaching, right? We're a pretty small group, comparatively speaking. And yet, we refuse to give up our determination, right? It's almost this kind of absurd bravery. Even in the face of everything telling us, no, don't try, there's no point, we continue going forward. We continue to try our hardest. We continue working at 110%, even when we've already found out pretty well that 110% is not going to accomplish 110% of the results, But we do it anyways, because I explained this once in a vlog a long time ago. It's not always about pragmatics, right? It's not always about, am I going to make a difference? It's about, I'm doing this job because I want to be the kind of person that does this job. Yeah. But there's another level to that, which is, how do I factor in to my environment? And lately, the sort of effort I've been making, which, I don't know, this is new to me, because I feel like this was never something I tried for, but it just kind of, I don't know, little things bottled up inside of me, and I realized, there's a lot that's not happening that should be happening. And so I think that my place has been trying to speak my truth. I think so often, really everywhere, there is this issue of these things happen. We see problems, but we don't say anything about them. We would rather live with the problem than upset the status quo. Or risk being the one that calls out that it's a problem, and the results, that opinion is not shared. So lately, I find myself kind of being the one to step in and say, you know what, I need to name something right now. That's actually a thing that I learned through Teach for America, just naming. Just, look, this is something that's true. I don't have a solution, but it is what I feel right now. I need to name that I'm frustrated. Or I need to name that I don't think this activity is accomplishing what I needed to accomplish. Those are kind of extreme examples, but today there were a couple of moments where I was like, I bet a lot of people share this feeling with me, but nobody's going to say it. And if I'm not the one to say it, then who is going to be that one? So I guess that's a little different than being a small group of people, but maybe that attitude can spark a change. Maybe it can get people talking. I don't know. We'll see. I guess to apply that to the actual practice of teaching, sometimes that applies as what? Oh, right. Speaking the truth to students. Because there's a lot students think they know that they don't know. Or in a lot of cases, actually a lot that they realize they don't know, but they don't really know who to talk to about it, or they don't know where to find the answers. And so being able to kind of be the one that steps in and says like, yeah, you know what, you guys? Here's what it's like to go to college. Or, yeah, you know what? Here's the truth about the career that you are thinking of. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's powerful. And I think it's meaningful to them. I don't know how, I guess that's not super close to the original quote, but it's just what's on my mind. Speaking your truth. YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the top 3 things that made me smile today. But before I do that, I have to share something kind of negative. I just want to go ahead and share this with you guys. This is from yesterday. So yesterday I went into the Dollar Tree. You know, I rode my bike there, chained it up outside, went into the Dollar Tree to get you know, some classroom supplies, really. Just like my picture frame had broken, so I went to get a new one, and a couple of other things as well. And I came out, and my bike was there. All of the lights had been stolen off of it. My headlights, my rear tail light. The only one that hadn't been stolen was there's one that is it's a rear light, and it's like it attaches. You can't just like pull it off like you could with the others. So that's pretty upsetting. It makes me feel a lot less safe, because it's like, you know, it would have been my bike had my bike not had a U-lock on it. But the thing that made me smile, and this is going to be my first thing, even though it happened yesterday, is that I still have the bike. It's so much easier to replace bike lights than it is to replace an entire bike. And I've had a bike stolen before. I had a bike stolen when I was living, you know, this was like 6 years ago. I had one of my bikes stolen. And it sucks replacing that. So at least it was just the lights. That's something I can be grateful for. Another thing I'm grateful for is the support of people who helped out today, because I did not administer this thing alone. I don't think I could. Partially because legally I'm not allowed to, with the class size being what it is. But yeah, I'm really grateful to those people who did that. So thank you for helping out. And the last thing that made me smile is my students. You know, it's so easy to look at it and be like, ugh, this is going to be really hard to manage, you know, and I find myself doing that way too much, I think, because today they were, I just didn't have behavior problems. That's not strictly true. I had to call home for a couple, but they were so minor compared to what they could have been, compared to what I had nightmares about, you know. So I'm very, very grateful to my students for trying as hard as they did. And students, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Really, it means the world. I know, you know, as a teacher, it's kind of my job to sit back and just accept good behavior as is, because, you know, we have to set the bar high. But on a personal level, it really means a lot when you allow me to not come in and be the bad guy, because I don't like it. I don't think any teacher does, and we only do it when we have to. And the less we have to, the better it is for everyone. So thank you so much. Really appreciate your effort. And I'm looking forward to another solid day of effort tomorrow. That is it for me, YouTube. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, YouTube.